Welcome back to the channel. I'm Babyface P, and today we're doing another cleaning video. I know the last one was super exciting, so I'm gonna do it again. This time on something a little more exciting. Suppressors. So we're gonna clean some cans. I know what you're thinking, and I'll explain everything coming up. Check it out. Check those out. Bunch of suppressors sitting on the table, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, wait a minute. Not all of those cans can be cleaned. And you're right. So what we're gonna show off today is cleaning those three. So the two on the left, spoiler alert, rifle can or a sealed can like the Osprey. You're not gonna wanna clean those out. Maybe run a little lube through them or something, shake them out, blow them out. That's about it. These three over here though, can all be taken apart. So we're gonna take all three of them apart and I'm gonna show you my way of cleaning these cans. So, what is my way? Well, I hate cleaning suppressors. I really do. So, these haven't been cleaned in probably 2 years. This one's the worst. The Liberty Mystic, it's a great can, but I hate taking it apart and cleaning it. So I never do. So it's gonna be a major pain in the ass. So let me set up the camera shot, show you how to take all these apart and show you well, before we do that, I'll show you what I'm gonna use to clean all these. Oh man, there we go. This is what I'm gonna be using to clean my cans. This, let me make sure you guys are in focus. Yeah, good enough. This is a, well, it's a rock tumbler. It is one that I bought. It's the Rebel 17. It's a rock tumbler, but you know, most of us gun people use it for tumbling, for wet tumbling or brass. Well, the steel shot inside there actually works really well for taking off carbon deposits. And when you put steel against steel, you don't really have any issues. So what we're gonna do is take all those cans down, dump them in here with a little bit of soapy water, and run them through the wet tumbler for probably about an hour, and see how clean they come out. If, like I think there will be more deposits on some of the cans. We'll talk about that, about getting the lead deposits off, but that'll be separate. All right, start taking some cans apart. All right, ready for the worst one. Taking your Liberty Mystic apart. This thing is, I love this can because it's so quiet and so durable. I just hate taking it apart and cleaning it, especially after I've put a bunch of 22 through it. So we'll see how easy this one comes apart. Lucky for me, I have the original takedown tool, well, takedown pipe that came with it. I don't even know if Liberty sends these along any longer, but hey, I got one, so I'm gonna use use the resources I have in front of me. Stick it in there. You guys probably can't see that, hold on one sec. Let me move you out to like that. There you go. And hopefully, this will come off. Oh, that actually wasn't too bad. Okay. Typically, this thing is glued in place. The outer sleeve is titanium. The inner monocore, surprisingly, came right apart. Ooh, a lot of carbon came out. Outer sleeve is titanium, so you don't want to screw with this too much. This is what we're going to be cleaning. The inner monocore, which I'm going to have to put it in here again. Come on, do your thing, come on, there we go. Inner monocore is stainless steel. So again, putting it in that, in the tub with all the steel shot will work really well cleaning it. As you guys may be able to see, let me see what it looks like on the camera. You guys may be able to see, there's a big old baffle strike down in there. I contacted Liberty a couple years ago about it, and they said, hey, if it's not hurting performance, don't worry about it. So I don't worry about it. It still works great. All right, monocore is going in the bath. Ring typically isn't too bad. Typically, I'll leave that separate. And then booster housing. You might as well clean your booster housing while you're at it. So for the Liberty booster housing, you unscrew the top till it pops off. Come on. There we go. Top comes out. And your booster assembly will come out. And yeah, it's looking a little cruddy. So this I'm going to soak in some hot water with some like Simple Green or Purple Power to get some of that grease broken up. I don't want to tumble this, otherwise all that nice Cerakote will come off. Both of these, straight to the dump. Let me grab one more thing we should clean while we're with this. Hold on, what's that? If, like me, you have a 3-lug adapter for yours, this one happens to be a Gemtech adapter. You're going to want to try to take this thing apart too, which isn't always the easiest. And we're going to clean this as well, since, you know, everything's coming apart today. We might as well clean all of it. Just taking this damn thing down is the worst. I tend to scrape up the metal. Here we go. So the housing on these are aluminum. You can see I scraped the hell out of it. I'll show you a little trick after we're done to redarken that. But this whole thing will come apart. And again, both those pieces can go in there nicely. The housing, excuse my phone. The housing will clean by hand. All right, so next up we have the Silencer Co. Spectre 2. This is my first can I ever bought, so I've had this one a long time. I love this can. Silencer Co. loves to send tools out with their parts, which is awesome. So here's the tool for taking it down. One side fits on the Spectre 2, one side fits on the Warlock. I believe that's what I was told. Spectre 2 side goes on, and I love the design of these suppressors, especially for a 22. If you notice, I don't know if they're the first necessarily, but whoever came up with this baffle design probably was SWR. God, it's awesome. For anybody that doesn't know, 22 suppressors are notoriously dirty. So yeah, this fits in the front to take the front cap off. Front and back caps come off. And the whole baffle stack will push right out. And notice how clean the outside of that baffle stack is. It's because all the grime is located on the inside and on this chamber section back here, the blast chamber. Unfortunately, I don't want to run the blast chamber through the tumble cleaner, so we're gonna have to clean that by hand. But tube also, hopefully you guys can see down, that tube's pretty much clean. You can run a rag through it and clean that out. Put that aside. What we do, break all these baffles apart, and I'll break them all apart separately. We're going to stick them in the tumble with everything else. Last up, we have the Silencer Co. Octane 9 HD. And you can see my hands are getting filthy from all this carbon. Don't breathe this. It's bad for you. Also, clean your hands if you're going to eat afterwards. All right. So for the Octane 9, back cap will come off with your piston assembly. You can see this piston is brand new. I haven't shot this piston yet, so it's nice and clean. The back cap is not going to get cleaned. Spring will go in. Cool thing about this design, which again I think was an SWR design, it wasn't actually one of Silencer Co.'s designs, is the piston is used, it interlocks with the front cap, like that. Front cap comes off with a lot of threading. Goes aside because we're not going to shoot that. And same exact design. All the baffles are interlocked so none of the carbon gets out. And all we have to do, put the tube aside. If this were dirty, if this were nice and shot up, we would clean it. But since it's brand new, you can see it's nice and clean. No reason to clean it. Take your baffles, snap them apart. And we're going to stick all of these, everything there individually, into the tumbler. Let them tumble for about an hour, and I'll show you what we come back with. This is the single best way I have found to clean my cans. One thing to note is if you have trouble getting these, oh, they're actually coming apart pretty well. If you have trouble getting your baffle stack apart, you can take a screwdriver or something, stick it inside the baffle, and give it a pry, and it'll come right off. But yeah, the whole baffle stack's gonna come apart. We're gonna clean all of them. You can see what kind of grime is on them now. And we'll see what they look like once we're done tumbling. All right, let's put, oops, you guys in focus. Let's put our parts in. All right, so we're just gonna start throwing shit in here. If it's a baffle, in it goes. Baffle, you're gonna wanna make sure they're all taken apart. Snap them off. Sometimes they're really stubborn. Put it in the vise and snap it. Ooh, look at that one. That one, you see all that crud caked on the inside? A lot of that's gonna be lead deposit. It may not take that off. I'll show you another trick after this if that doesn't come off. All the greasy shit, in it goes. Nasty pistons, in they go. Greasy pistons and suppressor parts, in they go. Got another one that's stuck. Let me stick it in the vise and twist it real quick. Come on, in you go. Wrong direction, go that way. There you go, come on, off you. There we go. Ooh, that one was real grimy. In they go. Blast baffle, in it goes. Last two, there they go, and whole core at an angle. Just like that. What we're gonna do is then put in about a gallon of water. Just good old tap water, nothing special here. For anybody that's wondering how much weight this thing can hold, this thing actually is made with the, God, was it pound of stainless steel beads or shot, whatever it is. I think it can hold 4 pounds of brass. So all of this collected is far less than 4 pounds. Typically the water will run up to here. So you can see there's a lot of extra room in there. 3 good squirts of Dawn dish soap. Take your rubber gasket, which is hidden off camera. Oh God. Rubber gasket. When you go to put this on, if you have one of these, if you're new to these, make sure there's no steel shot on these lips. If you get some of the shot out and it sticks in here, all the water will come pouring out. So just keep an eye for that. Your rubber gasket goes on like that, and my rubber gasket's getting a little dried and cracked. I'm gonna have to order a new one from them. Steel top plate goes on, and we screw it down. This would probably work pretty similarly if you had a, shit, what's the name of that one? The one from Harbor Freight, a little tiny one from Harbor Freight. You could probably get, like, if you had a 22 can, I'm pretty sure you could get the steel shot and the baffles from the 22 can, and possibly even the 9 and 45 cans in there. You're never gonna get the monocore. I think it's just way too small for the monocore. Twist it up, tighten it up, and let me grab the whole mechanism and get it started. So here's the whole machine. For anybody wondering, this is from Extreme Tumblers. I bought this about 6 years ago. That's, I think, when everything had to be extreme. So take your machine. There you go, put that on. We're gonna hit the switch and let it run for probably an hour, hour and a half. I'm gonna go get dinner. When I come back, we'll take it out. And let it go. See you guys in an hour. And we're done. It's been about an hour. Let's take this off. I'll show you guys let me see if I can show you what the nasty insides look like. So I guarantee it's going to be real gross. Oh. You can't actually see too much. The phone's in the way. It's pretty dark colored water though. So we're gonna go take it, dump the water out, and I'll show you what the parts look like once the water's off. Here's what we got. So try to get as much of the stainless steel shot out as you can. There is the monocore, and here are the there's your 22. So you guys saw how nasty that. Ooh, I don't want to get any of those pellets anywhere. Saw how nasty that 22 was. There's still lead inside there, and I'll show you guys a trick for getting that lead out on a separate video. But carbon-wise, like this is going to be mostly full of carbon deposits. Pretty clean on the inside. A lot of your carbon and lead from the back of these is all pretty much cleaned off. If you're really anal, you can grab a pick and clean some of that out, but otherwise, to me, that is perfectly clean, perfectly serviceable. I'll pull the rest of this stuff out. So this is probably one of the initial blast chambers. It's still a little bit dirty, but a lot cleaner. here was that greasy, gross, carbon-filled piston, and that thing looks nice and shiny again, even on the front. Nice clean spring. Another nice clean spring. And another nice clean spring. So I'll bring you guys in close so you can see what it looks like. Cans are clean. Let's put the Mystic back together. So this is the old school Mystic. I never sent this back to get it Xified. I probably should do that at some point, get the new core and everything, but I have yet to do it. You're gonna put it in, if you have one of the old Mystics, or if you've never seen one of the old Mystics, there's a washer that goes up front and a little lock tab where the little tab goes in. Like that, they fit together. Take your lock ring and screw it onto the back. If I can actually get this thing to thread, there we go. And then we're going to assemble the booster assembly as well. So what Liberty has suggested to me when I called one time was to use moly grease, some sort of moly grease, high temp moly grease. Anything that contains molybdenum, God, I can never say this. Molybdenum disulfide. Man, 3 tries and I got it. Some sort of moly grease is good. High temp stuff because eventually it will burn out. So use something somewhat high temp. You're gonna put a little bit of moly grease on the piston assembly. Greasing the piston just makes it work a little bit better. It will gum up eventually, but and you can see I already put a little bit of grease on the spring. Slide it all together. Slide the whole thing into your booster and screw it back down. And I do like their piston assemblies. These cans are way overbuilt for a 9mm can, but man, do they perform. Back on it goes. And ready for another 5,000 miles. Notice that we got a bunch of parts sitting over here that haven't gone back together yet. I'm going to put these back together. I'm going to put the tri-lug back together off camera because that doesn't matter. But these here are going to go into a separate process because if you can see there, it's got a lot of lead buildup on the outside. And that's common for 22 cans, or if you're going to shoot 22 through like your 9mm, or leaded bullets, like if you cast your own 9mm. These cans are good for that. If you're casting 9mm, these cans are great for that because you can take them apart and get the lead out. But we're going to do a separate video on getting rid of the lead. So that's it for this one. If you guys like this, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you really feel like it, you can subscribe. We're going to be doing more gun content as I think of what to do, as I come up with cool things to work on. So that's it, guys. I will stay tuned for this video. I'm going to be working on this, and you'll get to see how to clean lead off a suppressor. So catch you guys later.